All right, so I think we've all run into this problem, right? You've got the perfect spot for a screen.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's mounted, above a fireplace, or maybe you've got one out on a patio.
Huh.
But the source device, the cable box, your computer, is just way too far away.
And you realize your standard HDMI cable is just, it's not going to cut it.
Not even close. You either end up with a cable that's too short or one that's way too thick and expensive to manage. It's a classic distance versus physics problem.
It really is. And it's something we don't usually think about, that signal degradation, until we're staring at a flickering screen or just nothing.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into the specs of a device that claims to, well, bridge that gap, but has a very industrial-sounding name.
Okay, let's hear it.
The NTI ST-C6HD-394-LC low-cost HDMI extender.
Wow. Yeah, that just, that rolls right off the tongue.
Doesn't it? But if you look past the name, the documentation suggests this is a really serious tool for these long-range setups. We're going to unpack how this thing manages to push high-def video and audio across basically the length of a football field using just standard network cable.
And that's not an exaggeration. That's really where the tech gets interesting. See, standard HDMI cables, they have a hard limit.
Right. Something like 26 feet.
About that, yeah. 26 feet, maybe 8 meters. After that, the signal just falls apart unless you're buying these really expensive active booster cables.
Which get pricey fast. So how does this NTI unit get around that?
Well, it changes the medium entirely. The system uses a local unit, which is a transmitter, and a remote unit, the receiver.
Okay.
And you connect them not with a thick, fragile HDMI cord, but with a single Ethernet cable.
So we're talking about a standard CT5 or CT6 cable, the stuff that's probably already in your walls.
Exactly that. And the range is just, it's impressive. With a CT5e cable, the specs say you can push the signal 328 feet. That's 100 meters.
100 meters.
And if you step it up to a CT6 cable, you can get a massive 394 feet. That's 120 meters.
So we're jumping from a 26-foot limit to nearly 400 feet. That's a huge difference. But my first question is always quality. Are we losing something?
Yeah, that's the big concern, right? Compression artifacts, lag, something. But according to the technical data, the transmission is completely uncompressed. It supports HDTV resolutions up to 1080p at 60 Hz, and it also handles 24-bit deep color.
Okay, so strictly 1080p. We aren't talking 4K or HDR here.
No, and that's an important distinction to make. This isn't for your cutting-edge, 8K home cinema.
Sure.
But for a standard high-def setup, think a sports bar, a digital sign, or just extending your cable box to a TV on the patio 1080p is perfect, and this delivers it without any of that compression fuzz.
Got it. And what about the audio? Does the sound keep up with the picture?
It seems to. The specs list support for LPCM, Dolby Digital, and DTS. So if you're running a surround sound system, that data stream stays intact over the whole run.
Okay, but let's talk practical use. Say I put my noisy PC in the basement, but I'm trying to use my TV upstairs. How do I actually control it?
Right, you don't want to run downstairs every time you need to pause.
Exactly.
This is a feature that I think is a huge deal in the real world. The kit comes with IR, that's infrared emitters and receivers.
So it extends the remote control signal too.
Precisely. You plug the little IR receiver into the unit by your TV, you point your normal remote at it, and the system piggybacks that signal all the way back down the Ethernet cable to the source.
That's actually brilliant. That makes it so much more usable. So let's talk cost. Extender hardware can get pretty expensive.
Well, low cost is in the name for a reason. The list price is right around $145.
That's not bad at all.
Not when you compare it to, say, a wireless system that can suffer from interference, or the cost of 300 feet of a specialized active cable. Plus, it's plug and play. No drivers, no software.
It definitely sounds like a more straightforward solution than trying to snake a thick HDMI head through a wall.
It really does. It just solves that core distance problem without over-engineering it.
So if we step back, this kind of lets you completely separate your hardware from your screen. You get the beautiful image without any of the clutter.
And that leads to a much bigger thought, I think. We're so used to designing our rooms around where the cable outlet is or where we can stash a noisy computer tower. But if you can reliably move your source device 400 feet away, hiding all the blinking lights, silencing all the fan noise, what does that do for interior design? We might finally be able to create a truly silent media room.
Where the only technology you actually see
Yeah.
is the picture itself.
Exactly.
The completely invisible setup. That is definitely something to think about.